Hey everyone, MTaz here, and I am packing up because I'm going out of town. I got my laptop with the First Descendant downloaded. I'm hopefully going to be able to make some guides while I'm gone. But before I go, I wanted to give you a little breakdown of some of my favorite mods in the game for weapons, for Descendants, and overall cool factor. Ones that are going to take your damage to the moon, ones that are going to make you tanky. The very nice thing about mods in this game, a lot of the blues are cracked, okay? I've already done videos on the damage. But a lot of the blue mods are kind of must pick up staples in your build. They're very easy to get up and running, and they're very, very good. However, there are some golden mods and some purple mods that really open some doors. This bad boy is great, giving me 32% more firearm attack. What if I told you there's a mod that can give you like 100% more firearm attack? Would you be interested? Yeah? Okay, let's get started. So, number one. A lot of these ones that I've got upgraded on my weapons, they're kind of must-haves or staples. And you can slot in other ones when you get more mod capacity, when you start getting some of the extra slots with your catalyzers. But a lot of these are kind of staples in your build, okay? Mostly blues to get you started, and then there's some things with the purples. They're either going to be 2 stats getting boosted, but they're lower value. Or there's going to be a trade-off mod like this one, all right? I've got worse recoil, but I got a big boost of damage. There are so many different choices here. You've got fire rate, you've got crit on it, you've got fire rate with critical hit instead. Like, there's so many different ways that you can build your character, but I'm just going to warn you to get up and running first, and then you can start playing around with some of these other ones. But I want to also show you some of the cool golden mods and different things you can fit in as well. So I just wanted to kind of shout that out before we show off the other mods. Get started with, elemental damage, basic, firearm damage, rate of fire, stuff like that first. Same thing goes with your Descendant. If you're not using increased defense, increased HP, you are throwing. You want to do these things as soon as possible. You want to fill in your sub mod, whatever this one is. There's multiple ones in the game that you can put in here. This will increase the capacity of your modules. When you level this up, it'll actually add onto this total here, okay? So if I take this thing off, I go from 54 down to 46. So I don't care what you slot in here. There's some cooler ones like Mid-Air Maneuver, which, I want to shout out that one. There are some cool ones in the game, but a lot of them are you just throw it in there for the mod capacity, okay? But the big ones here, again, increased defense, increased HP, technician, very, very solid. HP amplification, very, very cool choice. We'll get into some of the purple ones in a second. But I want to talk about your Descendant. Your Descendant, in most cases, doesn't want shields. So any of the golds and purples that will give you defenses and HP at the cost of shields, or if you're focused on gun damage, you can start sacrificing things like MP. There's a lot of purple mods for your Descendant that have insane value, and I want to show you those. There's a lot more trade-offs that are viable on your Descendant than there is on your weapon, okay? In my opinion. But there's some really cool gold mods as well, like MP Collector. We'll get into those. Let's get started. So if you want to find all the mods in the game, you can open up your map or whatever, and you can go to Access Info, and you can go into your modules. And you can search for everything in here. You can search by the tier, you can search by the cost, the socket type, so if you're trying to fit it into a new Descendant, you can do that, okay? You can also search for things like firepower, and you can see everything in the game that'll boost up your firepower. You can search HP, what is going to boost up my HP or drain my HP? So that's a very, very quick way of searching for things that might be interested that you haven't unlocked yet. And if you want to figure out how to unlock it and how to find it, you can go into the acquisition info and it'll tell you the exact missions to go in. All right? I can click on that bad boy. It'll show it on the map. I can go in there and I can just do it. It's a 20% chance of getting that mod. I can just do that over and over and over again. Okay? So that's how you search them. That's how you get them. It's going to point you right in the right direction. But what mods should you even be looking for? Let me go over a few really cool ones. Mental focus. Mental focus on the Tamer is cracked. Now, if you max this thing up, you're going to have even more stacks available. But the amount of firearm attack that this can give you is almost unprecedented. This thing is crazy. I think it maxes out at 150 stacks. You lose a little bit of fire rate, but you can gain like 100% firearm attack. Mental focus is something that you should definitely be looking out for. I grapple when I want to grapple, when there's something to grapple to, and for the most part, I always have my cooldowns and always will. But if I miss, because I don't have enough range, I rage. So long distance maneuvering adds a lot of value. But mid-air maneuvering is super good in boss fights. Boss is going to slam you down. There's nothing to jump onto. You can mid-air maneuver. You can grapple on nothing. And this one is very, very cool. But if we're not doing maneuvering, what are some other gold mods that really stand out? MP Collector is fantastic, and you can essentially do infinite mana builds. I would highly recommend you give it a try, especially on someone like Bunny. Iron Will is also very interesting because if you're like me, I'm not building any shields whatsoever. So my shield is almost always down. This gives you a ton of defense for the cost. I would highly recommend you give this one a try. I haven't really tested this one, but I just gazed upon it. This seems pretty interesting, and I don't know what kind of buffs the Colossi have, but I feel like this is kind of good. HP Collector is cracked. If you want to survive in the game, this bad boy is it. Stacking defense and stacking HP means it's very hard to die when you're also getting heals, because this thing is also at base level. When you start leveling this thing up, it's very good to tack into your build. And even if you don't want to level it up, you want to just throw it in for 6 cost, it will function and do a pretty good job keeping you alive. 11 seconds seems like a long time, but between the actual health drops that you get, this is enough to keep you alive even at base level in a lot of cases. Front lines and this emergency measures, they give you a bunch of skill crit rate and crit damage, something you could consider throwing into your build if you want a little bit of damage. Now, the one thing I wanted to talk about was Stim Accelerant. Now, depending on the character you're playing, you might not even use your abilities that much or care about how much MP that you have. I know for me, in a lot of boss fights, I don't do any damage with my bunny. I just lay into them with my gun. And so there can be situations where you trade off a resource for HP or defense or damage or whatever it might be. Keep your eyes on this, and if you feel like I've almost always got mana in a fight, you can start throwing something like this in. If you don't care about your shields and you want more defenses, there's so many trade-offs that you can do in the game. I can't go over all of them, but just think about this when you're building your character. In a lot of cases, shields are not that valuable in the game, and stuff like this is perfect for making yourself bulkier while really not trading off much. In the early game, any of these kind of sub-mods are good to level up and boost your mod capacity. These ones cost 0, but when you level them, they give you total capacity. Just throw these into your build if you don't have, the maneuvering abilities, the grappling hook ones. You're probably going to have to be stuck with these for a little bit until you get those. Now, until we get insanely endgame, and all of these slots have reduced costs, it's very hard to slot in anything more than a few blue mods and a purple here and there. There are some cool mods that are in the game, but you can't even slot them in till much, much, much later. My recommendation is to focus on the good blue mods to get your build up and running and doing damage, and then you can start getting fancy and throwing in some of these other things when you have capacity. But for the most part, it's not going to fit in very nicely until you are much, much later into the game. So those are my recommendations and some things you can definitely keep your eye on. There's a few of them that definitely pop off the page, and there's a few of them that I need to hunt down myself. I don't know if this helps you. I just like talking about this stuff. I liked discussing this game, and I've been really having fun covering it. I'm going to try my best to make a few videos while I'm gone. I've got the game downloaded on the laptop right now, and thanks for watching. This is like my second channel. I don't know if you guys know who I am. I'm mtashed, and I've got a main channel with almost 1 million subscribers, and I cover these gacha games that I hate. And this channel is for games that I play, like Destiny. I was a big Destiny guy back in the day, and any game that I just like, I want to cover on this channel for the most part. And this is it. And I don't know how long it lasts, and I don't know how much time I can commit to it. But if you guys like the videos, I like you guys. I appreciate it. I've seen lots of good comments. People are subbing, and we're getting like pretty good views. This is like a fun project for me. And so, if there's something you want me to talk about and I can fit it into the schedule, I'm down. If there's something you're confused about, let me know. But this has been an actual joy in the past couple weeks. So I'm going to keep rolling with it, and hopefully you guys are having a blast too. Catch you later. Peace.